Whew. All right. I have been putting off this video for, oh my gosh, we're going on like 5 months, maybe 6 months. 5 November. Do the math for me. I've been putting this off because our wedding, not to sound like super cheesy and like hyperbolic, but like our wedding was actually perfect. It was my favorite day of all times, and I just want to do justice to it, or for it. I just want to do this right, and so I've been putting it off because that's me. I want to be I am a perfectionist, and I want to do everything right, and so I just like procrastinate. But I figured today, you know what, Lisa, just sit down and do this damn thing. Hi, I'm Lisa Schwartz, and on November 6th, I married the love of my life, my best friend, and it was absolutely perfect. It was my dream wedding, but the truth be told, I never dreamt of a wedding. Like I didn't picture it. I didn't know what it would look like. I didn't know what my dress would look. I had no idea. And it turned out better than I could have even imagined. And I have a great imagination. So I'm excited to finally share some pictures, share some details, and answer some of your questions that you guys have asked in the past 6 months, 5 months, 6 months, do the math, since it all happened, and really dive in. I'm gonna cry. I loved it so much, and hopefully this video is not only entertaining, but maybe it's inspiring if you are in the process of planning a wedding, because I think we actually did it so sort of, there were traditions to it, but I do think we did a lot of untraditional things and really kind of stuck to our guns in terms of making it like our wedding, because after all, it was our wedding. And I'm just so proud. So hopefully that's inspiring to you if you're in the process of doing this. So I went on Instagram a couple months ago when our pictures arrived and asked you guys for some questions. Again, like I told you, I was like so crazy about making this perfect, so I put it off, but I still have all those questions, and I'm just gonna dive right in and get going. And actually, one of the first questions I saw was a perfect lead-in into today's sponsor of the video, and that is Evite. I mean, come on, y'all. How honored am I to be sponsored by Evite, because I used Evite for our wedding. Perfect. Someone had asked about our rehearsal dinner, okay? And this is where Evite comes into play. We realized kind of last minute that we needed to send out a separate invitation for our rehearsal dinner, because the rehearsal dinner didn't include everyone that was coming to the wedding. And both of us were like, oh crap, we totally didn't even think about that. And that's where Evite came in, and it came in hot, and it showed up for us. Y'all probably know about Evite. They have been tried and true for as long as I can remember online invitations happening, and it was just such an easy, simple process, okay? We had so much on our plate to plan that we couldn't like really like have the headspace or the bandwidth to do much more. So we literally just signed on. I had an account forever. I feel like I signed up when I was like 16. As soon as the Evite like was around, I feel like I started an account. So it was like kind of shocking, but also not surprising that I had already had a account with them. Anyways, I went on there, and because we were going to be getting married in Hawaii, if you guys remember that, our initial like first wedding was going to be in Kauai. We had just started the planning process. We had just started like telling our friends about it, and then the pandemic hit, so we had to obviously cancel. And so because that was our original plan, we thought it would be fun for the rehearsal dinner to do it at the pool where we were all staying and do like a luau style. Super fun. It turned out super great, and you guys might have seen pictures from that already. I'll put a few pictures here, and you'll see pictures throughout this video. And if you want to see more, I will certainly put some up on my Instagram. And also shout out to our photographer. She was amazing, Albany Katz. I'll leave her information below. She posts frequent pictures, not of only of our wedding, but of other really dope weddings. So go to her for inspiration, and if you're in the area, certainly I cannot recommend her more. Anyways, so in a last minute panic, we're like, oh my God, we have to send out information and an invite to our rehearsal dinner. Otherwise, like, it's gonna be a mess, but also we need to keep RSVP list of that, because we had, ladies and gentlemen, we had a shrimp truck come. It was like some famous shrimp truck that was on some sort of Food Network show. It was like the Food Truck Nation show or something like that. And so we were gonna hire them to come to do our Friday night rehearsal dinner, but we needed to know how many people were going to attend that. So we needed to get a proper RSVP that was separate from our regular invitations. I'm talking really fast, but I'm pretty sure you guys are following me. This is all to say, Evite showed up for us. We went online. I'm gonna show you like a sample of how it works. I'm sure you guys all know because come on, Evite I feel like is our homies, like our old school homies are like tried and true. But for those who have not used them, you go to evite.com and they have all these templates already made per occasion. So you can like go through and be like, oh, baby shower or wedding, as I did. And in the wedding, they have all these other breakdowns and they did have a bunch of rehearsal dinner options, which is amazing. But then I was like, you know what? We're doing something kind of more unique. It's a very casual situation. So I looked up tiki or luau and it showed up with all these and we picked this very first one, which was perfectly us and perfect, and put in all the information. Obviously, this is like different information than it was, but privacy, y'all. And we sent it out, and the best thing is not only like are we able to get the RSVPs through it, but we're also able to get any sort of like food allergies or recommendations. Like on this sample one, I think I did like a veggie versus like a meat, but on the actual one that we did like a food allergy situation, because leave it to me to have friends who also have food allergies like me. And so we were able to give that information to the shrimp truck, and everyone loved the food on Friday, and everyone was satisfied because everyone could eat and not feel like left out because they had an allergy. Anyways, Evite, you're awesome. So if you guys are having any event, big or small, I cannot recommend Evite enough. Go on, check it out. See the different options that they have and the different features that they have. I mean, you could do like a gift registry on there. There's so many cool things. You can have actually your, I thought this was really cool. We should have done this, but again, we were in like such like a rush that we didn't like totally utilize all the things that we could have. But you could have like your guests upload pictures on there. So there's one place for all the pictures. It is brilliant. You guys can visit my unique URL. I would appreciate it if you click on it. I'll leave the link in the description below. It's evite.com/Lisbug. Check it out. It really helps your events be more special, unique, and fun, honestly. So yay, that kind of kicks us all off in a perfect way. So anyways, let me reverse. Like I said, Jeff and I had to postpone our original wedding, and we went back and forth about doing it in Hawaii again. But the pandemic was still like raging, and the thought of like making our parents get on an airplane, it was just like, it wasn't gonna happen. It wasn't right for us and it wasn't gonna happen. So I was like, let's go to Ojai, which you guys might have seen us going to Ojai. I made a vlog about it. I'll try to remember and link it above or below. So anyways, I was like, let's just go back to Ojai. Jeff and I's first like overnight vacation date, that was a lot of words all at once. Our first vacation together, which was like one night, an overnight. I think we had spent, obviously had spent the night before together, but we had not spent the night out of town together, was in Ojai, and it was for my birthday. And I just love Ojai. If you're not familiar, you're not from here, it's about an hour and a half north and inland from Los Angeles, and it's just like this super hippie town. It's a super hippie town. It is filled with beautiful scenery and small little shops. It's like the most Lisa place of all times. And Jeff and I had had such a nice time there. And I knew people got married there, so I was like, let's just drive up there and take a look. Well, as it turns out, we both, of course, over-researched everything because that's who we are and that's why I love us. And we had found a few properties up there that we wanted to check out. We wanted to do something super untraditional. There's like one big spa and resort there that a lot of people get married at that you probably have heard about or seen tagged, the Ojai Valley Inn, which is so beautiful, but that was just like not our style. We wanted to do something a little bit more casual, a little bit more funky. And so we found these two places. One being the Ojai Rancho Inn, where we ultimately ended up getting married, and the other was a sister property of that. So we went up there and we saw them both, and the first place we saw was the other property. It was super cool, kind of kitschy, a little bit more modern, and we saw it and we're like, yeah, this is cool, but like we both knew the minute we drove in, like it wasn't for us. But then the minute we went to the Ojai Rancho Inn, we're like, this is it. Like we both just knew right away. It was kind of bonkers. So basically it was this old motel. Like think of like an old like literally a roadside motel, okay? I'll leave the link below. You guys can check it out. It's so cool. So it's a roadside motel that they flipped and made into this very like hipster chic ranch vibe of a hotel. And in the back, they had essentially like a backyard that had these lights already strung up, bulb lights, like very our style, and picnic tables. And then there was a great pool. Like the aesthetic there was just so, it was basically like our home, but in a motel. And it was perfect. And we were like instantly obsessed. And the people that worked there were so lovely. And the people that ran events were so lovely. And we learned quickly that you could actually rent out the whole place. There were 16 rooms there. And it was literally like motel style. So you could rent out all the rooms, plus the venue, plus like the whole thing for the weekend. And we were like, that's it. We are going to do a full weekend experience in Ojai, which is easy to get to for all of our locals. And I would say like 85% of the people that attended were from LA. And we were just gonna have the best time ever. And so we did it. I can't remember if we had picked the dates. There was nowhere else like really, let me dive into the questions because I feel like some people were asking about that. Like, did we pick the date first or the venue? But it was kind of a little bit of both. Like we knew in theory, we wanted to get married in like the early November. I think at first we were like, we want to get married in October. We didn't want to get married on Halloween weekend, not our vibe. But we knew we wanted to get married in the fall time. It just like made sense to us. And so this idea of being able to rent out the whole entire place and making it a weekend all about our friends, our family, and our love, it was just like, it was perfect. All right, so now that you got like the overall idea, I'm gonna jump into your questions. And like I said, I'm gonna be popping up pictures and just kind of go for it because I'm already feeling like I'm yapping and blabbing, but I'm excited. Someone asked what our first dance song was. So Jeff and I like didn't want to do like all the traditional things. Like we wanted to kind of smush them all together and then just let it be a party. So we actually combined our first dance with the mother, son, father-daughter dance because we're like, we don't want to do like a full dance together and everyone just like watches us. That made us uncomfortable. But we also didn't want to do like full dances with our parents because like that felt like it all just felt a little extravagant. It was already such a day about us that we were like, we just want everyone to be involved. So we picked a song. It was Tiny Bubbles by Don Ho, which had become our song ever since we went to Hawaii and sort of fell in love with like the Hawaiian culture. And then as it turns out, like Jeff's dad loved Don Ho and had an affinity towards that song specifically, and Jeff's parents were really, it was just kind of like, it kind of encompassed everything. It was just like a retro, fun, loving, light song. So we kind of combined all of the dances into one. Jeff and I started, and then we pulled up, Jeff pulled up his mom and I pulled up my dad, and then we invited everyone to come out and dance. And it was honestly perfect. Couldn't recommend it more, especially if you don't like being in the center of attention. Ironically, I don't like being in the center of attention, even though I have this channel and I'm talking about me all the time. In real life, like face to face, I would so much rather be like asking the questions and be in the back seat. Someone asked, what was the theme, and is that what you've always dreamt of? Like I mentioned before, I like never really had a dream of what a wedding would look like. Not that I didn't want to get married, I just never envisioned it. But our theme was campy, like hippie, campy 60s. So there was like, my bouquet was daisies, and as I got ready, I got ready to like all Beatles and Beatles like era music. So it was like very retro in that way and very campy and just sort of like the setting. So I like went on Pinterest a little bit and I saw some like campy inspired stuff because everything was outdoors and kind of like in a woodsy kind of like naturey thing. And I wanted to have wood tables and eclectic wood chairs. That was like, I just had to have eclectic wood chairs. and I found them through a great party rental company, and they turn out even better than I could have imagined. So it gave us this like eclectic, vintage vibe, and then we added like, our florist was amazing. We added like lots of greens, lots of daisies, lots of just sort of natural stuff, and then amber and mustard glassware. So again, it was pretty much our house, but like in wedding form. And like the aesthetic was just like, it was just so dreamy. And then we got married. I just wanted a very simple like arch behind us, or like a triangle behind us, and our florist built it. It was just like, yeah, it was sort of hippie, crunchy, outdoorsy, campy. Am I doing this justice? Okay, someone said, how do you cut down your wedding list? For us, it was easy because it was during the pandemic, like the height of the pandemic. And so we really had to. We couldn't have a big old wedding. And also, like, ultimately, we kind of didn't want to, but it was like a great excuse not to. And so I think we capped it at 60 people. It was either 60 or 70, which still sounds like a lot, but honestly, it's not. Like, especially like a lot of our friends are married or have partners, so it's like, you know, the couples really add up, plus family. So yeah, it was difficult. There was a few people that I felt bad about not inviting, but mostly it was like, okay, let's think about who have we actually talked to in the last 2 years? Who actually like knows both of us or cares about both of us, or who has reached out during this treacherous time before, you know, the pandemic. I feel weird. Can I say that? How many times can I say it without getting flagged? I feel like YouTube is still like kind of wonky about it. Anyways, we were just like super mindful about like really just having the people there that we love and have deep like connections with, and not inviting people that we just felt obligated to have. And our parents were amazing in that way, in that they weren't like forcing us to have like their friends of friends that we like never met before. Like, they didn't know us or didn't have a personal relationship with us, we just decided not to invite them. And I feel like for the most part it went okay. Some of my friends like that lived out of state, I felt bad, but I was like, listen, it's a tough time right now. Like, we had to slim it down, and like we're really trying to limit our out of town guests, and everyone seemed to understand. So I don't know. I don't know if that's as applicable now, but it certainly helped us at the time. Oh no, y'all, I've been yapping so much that my camera turned off. I'm gonna have to speed this up a little bit. That means I've been yapping for too long. The last question, I'm guessing the whole thing got cut off because I literally was yapping, was what kind of food did you have? We had the best food ever. We had a company called Lucca Truck come, and basically they're just a catering company. They don't have a storefront, but they make wood fire pizza out of their truck. Like, it's this gorgeous truck that opens up and becomes like a wood fire grill, and they made individual pizzas for everyone. At first we were like, oh, they're just gonna give out slices. No, they were like straight up giving out full pizzas. It was amazing. They had gluten-free and vegan options, and I gotta say, it was like some of the best. I would actually say it was the best pizza I've ever had. We got to save some. Pro tip, in case you were getting married, a friend of ours told us this, and it was the best advice ever. Make sure that you eat at your wedding. Sounds so silly, but you're so busy, you're popping around, you're doing all these things, you're trying to talk to everyone, that you forget to sit down and eat dinner. So we like told our party planner, we're like, hey, we need to make sure that we have dinner. Could you please just make sure that like something's in front of us? And she went above and beyond, not only like made sure we had it in front of us, but she saved like a few extra like full pizzas to go. It was brilliant. We ate it like late night. We ate it the next morning. The pizza was amazing. We also had a few different salads, and then they provided a huge, gorgeous charcuterie board for cocktail hour. I can't recommend doing something like that more. We just didn't want to do your traditional chicken or steak kind of thing. We just aren't into like traditional catering. I mean, we're like specific eaters anyways, but we just wanted to do something fun, and it was so fun, and it was interactive. I just loved it. Oh my God, I feel like I need to do part 1, 2, and 3, and 4. This is why I've been putting this off, because I'm like, okay. Let me just hit a few key moments, and then if you want to see more, I guess we can do more. Someone asked what perfume I wore for the wedding, which is interesting, and did I get a specific one for the wedding? I didn't get something new. I just wore what I wear for special occasions, which is Chanel Chance. I don't know, I'm traditional like that. I've been wearing that scent forever. My mom wears that scent. It's just comfortable and beautiful to me. I didn't want to try something new either because I'm sensitive and I just like, God, the worst thing would be if you were like allergic to the scent that you like got specifically for your wedding. So I just stuck with that. I'm not a huge scent. I'm more of like just a light spritz kind of gal. So yeah, I didn't overthink that one, but that's interesting because I know people are like really specific and take a lot of pride in the different kinds of perfumes they use, but I feel like Chanel Chance, tried and true. You know, a lot of questions, I'm gonna bounce off of this one question, but there's a lot of questions kind of surrounding the anxiety, the stress, all that. This says, SOS, I'm planning a wedding and it's a lot. Crazy family advice? Question mark. Here's like one like general thing I will say. Jeff and I worked really hard to make sure that we kept the wedding about us and about our love and about like us. I know that sounds so obvious, but it's like so easy to lose sight of that because our family was so generous, both Jeff's and my family, in giving us money for the wedding, which, oh my God, God bless. We couldn't have done it without them, truly. Weddings are expensive. We like really tried to keep the price low and we worked really hard and I think we did a good job, but like, dude, I mean, if you're gonna throw a party, you wanna do it right. And even if you set a budget, it is just so hard in the wedding world, especially, to throw a party at a low cost. It just is. It's doable, but it was a lot of work. Anyways, this is all to say, like, there was definitely pressure to like make sure that our parents felt accounted for and that their opinion mattered and that we did them justice. And, you know, there was a lot of different factors. You always hear it, but you don't believe it until you're in it. Like, there's definitely a lot of stress, even though everyone's so excited. It's all coming from a good place, at least in our situation. But like, yeah, there was a lot of factors going on and a lot to like sort of swirl through and take into consideration. But we had so many conversations, like hand in hand, face to face, like eye to eye, like, this is stressful, but let's just remember, this is to celebrate us, and this is ultimately for so much fun and for such a gorgeous, beautiful reason. And I think like the key to success, if I may, for a great wedding is like keeping that in mind, keeping the idea of doing it the way you want to do it. Do it the way you want to do it. And connecting with your partner often and throughout. So like, I feel like 2 nights before our rehearsal dinner, I like had like a full like anxiety attack. I wasn't nervous about my choice to marry Jeff. That was like actually never in question, which God bless. That's a whole nother factor if you're like dealing with that. Talk to your family, friends, and therapist. That was like definitely not an issue. My issue was just like, I was so worried about making other people happy. And that's just like my general kind of anxiety in life. And it was amplified with the fact that all these people were coming all the way and spending money in their own way to celebrate us. And like, I was so like crippling anxiety over that. I wanted to make sure everyone was comfortable. Everyone felt taken care of. And Jeff and I, well, Jeff grabbed me and was like, this isn't about anyone else. Like, they've already made this decision to celebrate us. This is about us. And we made this like commitment and deal like throughout the night to look at each other, connect with each other, take moment for each other, because it's so easy to get wrapped up. We are like the type that want to go out and talk to everyone, but we kept connecting throughout the night. And honestly, it was like a game changer. It really was just like such a beautiful way to not only kick off our marriage and our connection, but just sit and enjoy and experience the night, because it got me out of my head and really focused on why we were there. Wow, I am rambling and like going deep, but take it for what it's worth. Whew. And honestly, I'm looking through, so many people asked about like stress and stuff. Did you choose your wedding hair and makeup? I did. I didn't want to do anything crazy. You'll see one of my dearest friends helped me with my makeup. She helped like pick out all the shades and tones. I did my like face of makeup and then she put on my eyelashes. That's just who I am. Like, she's my favorite person in the whole world and my favorite makeup artist, but I just like needed a sense or a moment of control because the whole day felt a little bit out of control in a beautiful way. But that was kind of my way of like controlling the situation in a bit. Wow, I'm a control freak. But she helped me pick out all my shades, my eyeshadow, and like I said, she put on my eyelashes. And then for my hairstylist, who I've been going to for forever, you guys have seen her in vlogs before, Megan, she did my hair. She did a blowout, and I just wanted something so simple. I didn't want to look any different than I usually do, and so she really just did a blowout with a really light curl. Basically just an elevated version of what I normally look like, but it was really nice to have her do that. It was like one less thing. I'm good at my makeup, not good at my hair, so it was like totally perfect. And then last minute I was like, I think I want like a little daisy behind my ear, and so my florist came through on that, and that was it. Guys, I kind of went simple in terms of my look because my dress was just so, and if you guys missed it, I did a whole thing about finding my perfect dress, and it really was my dream dress. But my dress was so special and specific that I just kind of wanted everything else to kind of just flow. Someone asked, what's the one thing worth spending the most money on? I would definitely say like an open bar is helpful if that's like your crowd. Like our friends like to drink, like to dance, like to party. So like for us, it was like we want to make sure the booze is flowing. We wanted to make sure the food was good. And other than that, I mean, the venues are so expensive. Like they really, really are. So like we kind of threw down on that because we loved this idea that everyone could stay there. Oh, so by the way, we ended up having all of our friends stay on property, and then our family stayed in like really nice hotels nearby, but it made the most sense. Like it just kind of worked out that way number-wise, so that was cool. I would definitely throw down for the right location and definitely food and booze. Someone asked, did you have a late night snack? And we did. We went back and forth about this, and again, with the budget and stuff, we were like, oh my God, we would love to have like, you know, like a fry truck come, or we thought about an In-N-Out truck. Like we thought about a bunch of things, but it was starting to get so expensive. And I was like, you know what? Let's just do a cereal bar. We can set it up ourselves. Our party planners were like, yes, we can set it up for you. Just get all the stuff. And so we just like, I think I ordered on Costco or something, and here's a picture. We had like a full-on cereal bar, and I gotta say, I hit that cereal bar. I went for those Cheerios late night. Everyone was thrilled about that cereal bar. People like took home the cereal. It was brilliant. I loved it. Sorry, that was my idea, but it was great. Someone asked, what was your favorite personal touch? And we just had a bunch of personal touches. I think like overall, instead of really focusing on us, we focused on like our community and our family and friends. I mean, we focused on us obviously, but like my comfort zone and Jeff's too is like I said, we're people pleasers, but I'm gonna say it in a positive way. Like we really love our friends and family, and they made us who we are and continue to grow with us. And so we did a lot of things for them. We got personalized. My mom made them Scrabble name settings. So everyone had their own little Scrabble set that had their names on it. And then you guys saw, I already like posted about this a while ago. There's an Instagram account. I will leave their information below. My mind is going blank as I'm reliving all of this. I'm obsessed with them. Wild Masterpieces. You guys probably have already seen all this and know about them, but basically instead of doing traditional like name cards with like your table assignment, we did these. No one knew we were doing these. They were personalized pictures that our Wild Masterpiece friend made for us. We like sent in all the pictures, and he built all of these for us, and then we printed them out. We put them in these lucite frames, and then on the back it said like their table number. So it was like not only like a thing that they could take home, but it was just something fun and silly, and just sort of set the tone that this was going to be a fun and silly event, and it was going to include all of them. And one more thing, the woman that married us is a dear friend of ours, and we wanted to make sure that she acknowledged everyone that was there since we were having such a small event. So in like our ceremony, we had written out a little bit about everyone, like a little aside about everyone, like, you know, this is Jeff's best friend from his work, and this is why he loves them, or this person was Lisa's best scene partner, whatever the case was. And she mentioned literally everyone that was there during our ceremony. Oh, that makes like me want to cry, because everyone was included, and it brought everyone in, and it made everyone feel like they were there for a reason, and we needed them to be there. Even plus ones, we like figured out a way to include them, and it just made for the most like magical ceremony. Ooh, I did do a first look. here's some pictures of that. Jeff had not seen my dress before, and it was just the most fun. I also had seen what suit he was getting, but I hadn't seen his suit on him, and whew, that man looked fucking fine. And lastly, I'll end on this. Someone asked, what were your thoughts walking down the aisle? It was like the most joyful moment of my life. So we were up top and the music started, and like we just had a few people walk down the aisle, and the minute it started and Jeff walked down to The Power of Love with his mom, people started cheering and I could hear it. And so I was just back there like literally screaming like a wild person, just like, yeah, yeah. Like I was screaming because everyone else was screaming. And then when like the party planner was like, okay, go Adam, my brother, I was like, yeah, Adam. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna start crying. It was just so beautiful and joyous and wonderful, and like, honestly, just stick to your guns. Like, wait for the right person, even if you feel like you're a little old, because I was a little old, but like, man, sometimes you gotta bust through a bunch of wrong relationships to really wait and get to the right one. Stand up for what you need and what you want in your partner. That was worth it 1,000%. And once you are with your partner, continue to communicate, continue to check in with each other, and make that wedding all about your love and all about the love around you with your family and friends. Don't invite people you feel like you have to. Don't do things you don't feel like you have to. Do it your way, and you will have the most special of days. Whew. So there you go. This is gonna be a bitch to edit. I have no idea what I just like did and said, but it was so perfect. It was just so lovely and wonderful, and I don't regret anything, and I don't wish for anything different. There were some like bumps in the road, like a few things weren't exactly as we had intended, like little things, like my bouquet wasn't exactly what I had asked for because they had run out of the flower, but then she sent me pictures and other options, and it ended up being even better than I expected. We just kind of rolled with the punches, and it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And no one knew otherwise, you know what I mean? No one knew that wasn't the bouquet I originally asked for. Oh, so there you have it. Hopefully I popped in more pictures and explained things decently. It was just such a big, gorgeous, beautiful weekend. It was a full weekend. It was a full weekend of love, and I couldn't have asked for anything better. So there you go. Hope I did our wedding justice, and I hope you enjoyed this mess of a video, a vomit of a video, if you will. And thank you so much, Evite. Evite, I should have had you do this video for me because you are organized, you are cute, and you are fun, and you make everything so much easier. I wish you could have done this whole video, like structured this video for me. Was there a template for this video I could have used? If so, let me know. Make sure to check them out below. I appreciate you guys supporting the companies that support me. And like I said, I am so diligent and kind of crazy about the companies that I choose to do sponsorships with. But Evite was like a no-brainer. So there you go. Okay, I'm a crazy married lady. Just wait until like we start doing the baby thing, because can you imagine if I had tears just for this? Imagine what that's gonna look like. Whew, God willing. I love you guys so much, and thank you. Thank you all for just sharing these really special moments in my life. I love y'all.